Hi folks, you join me on the underside of the SC430. This is basically for an oil change. The service history was all up to scratch when I bought the car, but I've done a couple of thousand miles in it now, and I'm just wanting to make sure everything's done off the checklist. The first thing I'm going to do is change the oil. So I'm going to change it with 5-weight-30 Shell Helix. This is ideal for Scottish climate. The car's never going to be getting driven in the winter weather, so I'm not too bothered with the kind of extra protection with higher viscosity at the, lower viscosity at the lower end of the scale. But yeah, it's basically what's recommended for this climate, so that's what's going in it. So simple enough, you've got your sump plug there, and there's two bolts, and they're just 10mm bolts. So one goes there, the other goes there. If you undo them, that basically folds down, and you've got access to your oil filter in there. So I've got a can which I've cut, and I'm basically going to just crack that now, let that filter down into it. Now I know I'm aware I've got a ramp. It's a bit easier obviously to work on the underside of the car, but this would be absolutely achievable in the driveway if you were able to jack your car up safely. That's on you to make sure it's done safely. They would give you kind of plenty of room. You need to line your back obviously, but it's not the worst accessible sections to do. So on this, that looks like a 14mm there. So I'm going to have a wee grab at 14mm. Now I'm also going to change the filter over. I've got a Bosch filter for up in there, and like all my other cars, I'm just going to change the oil at 5,000 mile intervals. The interim oil change I'll do, so I'll do a oil and filter every 10,000 miles, and I'll do an oil every 5,000. The reason being, I've got one of these extractor things. I can just park the car at the front of my unit, create a vacuum, it just empties the oil out it, and I can just refill it, and it saves me to get up underneath the car. 5,000 miles is a bit overkill, but it's the lifeblood of the car, and yeah, oil is just cheap. So we will have a wee look at this. So you're just looking to break the seal on that. I've also got two mismatched gloves, so I thought we'll use these ones. This is like a Michael Jackson kind of leg glove. So I'm just looking to get to the end. You'll notice as well, you'll start to feel it getting a bit loose. If you keep it pushed in, you'll essentially keep it plugged, and then you can just whip it out like that. That oil is horrible. That is that is not how it should look. Not the nice golden nectar. So yeah, I'm glad I'm changing that now. So yeah, basically this is what you need to do on the underside of it. As you can see, it's rather simple, rather easy to do. So just move your pan as that flow starts to kind of slow. You want to make sure it's covered, so it doesn't go all over your driveway or all over your workshop, because it's a pain in the backside to actually clean up. So I'm going to leave this draining for a good wee while. After that's drained, I'm going to pull the filter out. I've also undone the engine oil filler at the top, just to create that downward pressure as well, so when you're opening it, it's going to come out, it's going to flow out happily. The engine oil, or the engine isn't terribly hot. I drove up here, I had a couple of cars I had to shift about inside my unit, so the cars had a chance to kind of cool down, so it's not overly roasting hot. Okay folks, now for the filter. So pull this all the way back, and the filter is situated just in there. I don't know if the camera is going to be able to pick that up, but your filter shouldn't be overly tight. So I'm just going to find a wee place to stick my inspection lamp onto it. There we go. And we shall have a wee look at this. Should be able to remove this. by hand, which, yeah, I'm not, so somebody's been a bit over. Yeah, that's stuck on solid, so yeah, it's going to need the oil filter remover, so we'll back to you in a wee minute. So that's the oil filter, everything all back in, everything all topped up, and the oil basically is just to be filled now. So it's 5.2 litres of oil you're looking to fill up. That's including the oil filter. I think there's a couple of things on the forums that says it's a wee bit kind of less than that, but that's not taking into account the oil that your filter will hold. So we're basically just, your filler hole is here, and basically just looking to put 5 litres in. I'm going to let that settle for a wee bit. I'll top it up, start the engine, let it kind of run, let it do its cycle, and I'll check it again when it's hot and when it's cold, and I'll just basically take a wee bit more in or take a wee bit more out as needed using the vacuum thing. So I have a steady hand. Oh, there we go, right in first time, what we like. So yeah, this full 5 litres can go in safely. I know there's been more than 5 litres taken out because of the amount that's went into the bottom of the big drum. So I can pour all this in, no issues, and knowing there's not going to be any overfilling. And basically that's it. That's all you need to do for your oil change. It's not difficult in the slightest. It's one of the quite kind of simple, easy cars to actually do the change on. Everything's nice and easy and accessible. I'm going to do it the easy, lazy way, which is I've basically removed the dipstick for the automatic transmission, which is down there, fed this kind of semi-rigid pipe down to the bottom of the sump, and I'm basically going to use an extractor to pull out as much oil as possible. One of the reasons being is if you remove the sump on this, or remove the sump plug from the automatic transmission, you'll get about 3 litres of oil coming out there. It holds approximately 7 litres of oil, so you've still got 4 litres of dirty oil in there. So basically I want to see just how much this pulls out when I use the extractor, and obviously however much I pull out is how much I'm going to replace in there. If it only pulls out 4 litres, for example, I'll run it for another month. I'll extract another 4 litres, put another 4 litres in, and I'll do that another couple of times so I know that the majority of the oil in there is fresh and new oil. Apologies for the noise in the background there, but yeah, I'm going to crack on. So there we go. Don't know if you could see that there in the camera, but a nice steady flow of oil coming out, and you'll be able to see it there. I don't know if you can hear it on the microphone. So that's it, drawing oil out. So however much oil it goes before it can't take any more, I'll basically replace that back in through that funnel. And yeah, it's just a waiting game now. I'm going to go and grab some breakfast. Okay, so I don't know if you can hear that, but that's basically it taking out as much as it's able to take out, and it's literally just above the 2 litre mark. So yeah, a bit of messing about with this is going to be needed, but it's probably going to be a long, slow process over a right good few months to get this done. Obviously the other option is just to pull the sump now and see if any more comes out there. But I think I might just go through with this option of those are 2 litre increments, and that's basically right up to 2 litres. So put 2 litres in, run that for a couple of weeks, drain that back out, and I'll keep on doing that. The ATF fluids, it's not dear, it's not expensive, so it's no issues with doing that. I would just rather not start needing to put the car into places to get the stuff pulled. But yeah, slowly but surely it'll get nice fresh new ATF fluid put in it. Yeah, anyway, thank you very much for watching. I know there wasn't a great deal of information on there, but take care, thank you, cheerio, bye.